Alright, I think we're almost set up here. It's a bit late for me, so let's see if I can say this name without messing it up. Fragilities? I'm so sorry. I butchered that, but thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Alright. There, I think I got that sorted now. Okay, so it's, I was gonna say it's been a little while, but it actually hasn't. I'm still not used to streaming again. I've taken a bit of a break, but I'm very glad to be back. Also, this might be a bit of a shorter stream this time because I am streaming later than usual. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon where I am, so I think this might be the wrong save for building, but doesn't matter too much anyway. So, as a bit of a, what would you say, I guess, precursor, prelude, the word to describe a thing before you do it. I don't know, whatever. I've done this before. I've built an 8-sim tiny home in the past, but this was before we had bunk beds. So there wasn't a lot of space. It wasn't great. I'll show you what I mean actually. I have it on my gallery. So let me find it here real quick. As a bonus, I think it would be super cool if we're able to make it like a starter home or something like that, because I've done starter homes. I think I've done 8-sim starter homes before. Have I? Yeah, I've done an 8-sim tiny starter. But I don't think... Oh, I see, yeah, I have done an 8-sim tiny starter before. But this one... I don't know, I don't really like this one. I'm not a huge fan of how it turned out. I like the outside of it, but the inside just wasn't as... I don't know, it wasn't as like homey as I wanted it to be. I want it to look like an actual house. But it is possible is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, before bunk beds, what I wanted to show you, if it's still around here somewhere. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what that would do. Huh. Can't quite find it here. That's a bit of a pain. Anyway, let's just get into it. Okay, so let's start by filtering this by base game and tiny living, because I don't like using too many other packs. I think that there's a lot of cool things that you can do with other packs. I think especially more recently, The Sims have been doing a great job, or the Sims team, I mean, at having packs sort of fit with each other so that you can use them together and it doesn't look so out of place. Only problem is that means a lot of the stuff would be inaccessible to a lot of people. Or inaccessible, I mean? My bad. And so I want to keep it simple. Besides, it does add a little bit of a challenge, and that's, like, you know, it's fun. Why would you do something easy? I mean, because it's easy. I mean, I'm a pretty lazy person, so I do things the easy way a lot more often than I should. But in The Sims, it's fun. I didn't make the other one 2 stories, although maybe it would be smarter to make it 1. I mean, I am going for a tiny home, not a micro home. If you're not familiar, I'll just open the panels here. So there's a small home, a tiny home, and a micro home. A micro home is 32 tiles, so for reference, it's about this much and then plus 2 tiles. So pretty small. I have managed to get an 8 sim home with a micro home without doing any cheats or extra walls, but it doesn't look very good. It ended up looking more like a refurbished a refurbished farm. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad anyway. But yeah, there are a lot of cool perks that you get, and these are great if you're doing any sort of challenges. But I think the way to approach this is we'll just start by laying out the furniture we need first and foremost. So we definitely need a couple of bunk beds. And I might try to make this home toddler friendly, just to add to the challenge. So maybe I'll throw these in here, so that would be 6 Sims. Maybe we'll take out the beds from under these and we'll throw in toddler beds. Let's see here. Ooh, that might actually not be a terrible configuration to have the bed out like this, because then, I don't know. I think you can put things under the other side, because the way Sims beds work, if you didn't know, is you don't actually need the end 2 tiles to be accessible for your Sims to be able to use it. So let's say you wanted to make like custom ends for your beds with like chairs or something like that. You could take a bed like this, use hold on. Oops, I did that cheat wrong. Maybe I should put testing cheats enabled true in first. That might make this a bit easier. Oh, I guess I don't have to put enabled true. I'm so used to the Sims 2 cheats. I mean, I haven't played the Sims 2 for years, but they're so just ingrained into my memory from playing it as a kid. There we go. Yeah, that's not the... Chairs aren't the best example. Usually I use double beds anyway. So let me show you that real quick. So if you were to use a double bed like this, and you wanted a different frame and like headboard and end piece, what you could do if you wanted to is to grab a couch like this one, or let me see if I can get something that fits a little better. This covers it a bit better. So let's say you were to, pardon me, slide this here so you couldn't see it, and then take something like a dresser or one of these side tables, and you were to place it on the end. Sorry, I'm just trying to think how I'm gonna do this one in particular. I haven't done a combination like this before. I mean, hell, you could even do the same thing twice on both sides. And as long as this tile here, well, you can't see where I'm pointing, but here, is still open, this bed is still functional. And also this would be really adorable if you wanted a double bed for a kid. And plus the pillows are different colors, but the bed frame's the same because I use like the same wood thing. Oh, that's really cute. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I mean, where they don't really need these parts of the bed. I think the toddlers do, but I'm not sure if that's the case for the kids. Next up we need a bed for the parents. Now, if we're making this a starter home, it would be best to use, obviously, the cheapest bed. But the Murphy bed actually really helps when saving space. I'm curious, can you put a Murphy bed under a bunk bed? You can't. Could you imagine the amount of space you could save with that? It'd be insane. But yeah, so it's great because it provides extra sitting room for your Sims. It looks a lot nicer too, which is important. But it is really expensive compared to this bed. This bed is $430, or simoleons, I mean. And the Murphy bed is $1,650. So not good if you're on a budget. So we have these sorted out here. And these can even go side to side like this. And I believe they can be used on half tiles as well. So more or less we for sure need this much space. And then we need at least a fridge and a counter. I'll just grab the cheapest appliances for now, and then hopefully we can upgrade them later. We need for sure a fridge and a counter. We don't actually need a stove, as long as we have a fridge and a counter, because then you can make salad, chips and salsa, BLTs, stuff like that. So your Sims will be able to cook on it anyway. But we for sure need a sink, a toilet, and because we have toddlers, a bath. I hope we have room for the shower tub combo, but I don't know. Now this whole thing seems really manageable. The thing is to make it look as homely as possible, because I don't want it to look like it was a challenge. I want it to look like it's just a nice cozy home for your Sims, and you really wouldn't think any otherwise. Sorry, I'm just checking my frame rate here. I monitor my streams on my phone because I stream off of a laptop, so it's not exactly the best for having the Sims running and streaming at the same time. That's already a huge stress on it. Either of those individually would be. Plus, I'm super disorganized, so I have a bunch of tabs open. And yeah, so trying to enable a new feature that Twitch recently added on Twitch Studios is, well, the feature, if you don't know, is where you can have pop-ups overlaid on your screen so you can see them without having to use like a phone or anything as a second monitor. Issue is it can cause crashes. And because my laptop is already overwhelmed, it really slows down the whole thing, and my stream actually crashed last time. I'm pretty sure that was because I had face cam on and a bunch of tabs open and all sorts of things. But I think it should be better now. Okay, so this is already looking a bit more like a house shape. Maybe if we extend this a little more, and then this, there we go, and then maybe we can do like, well, let's see, let's put the roofing on. Actually, you know what? No, let's do the floor plan first here. I know I said I wasn't sure about doing this 2 stories, but I just think it looks nicer. You know what? No, let's make this 1 story. Let's stick with my original plan. Because I was thinking when doing that, I wasn't just going with the flow. And let's give that one a try first. Let's start with laying out the bedrooms. I'll go bird's eye view, top down for you guys so I can sort of show you where my thought process was going here. This is the smallest size you need to fit a double bed where both Sims can access both sides. Although now they recently did an update where your Sims can relax on the bed, or scoot or whatever, they've made it a lot easier. But it doesn't work for all the activities you can do on a bed. So technically, you could make a bed this small if you're just using the bed for sleeping, but if, you want to do anything else in that bed, probably not the best choice. Okay, next, the minimum size for a bathroom would be this if we're not including a sink. But I think since we're trying to do this so that the house looks nice, we're gonna add room for a sink here. Then maybe for a little bit of shape, we'll extend this way. How are we gonna do that? Maybe ixnay the shape. We'll just have it like this. Have this more or less be the layout of the back of the house. This will fit at least 2 Sims in each of this room and a bedroom. So we already have half the Sims. We already have a place for half the Sims. This, don't want to make it too small. This will for sure fit another 2. Then maybe we can put another 2 here, but this hallway is a waste of space here. And that's what's bothering me. But I do want it to look homely. In a good way. I know some people think homely, I know some people use homely as, ugly, but cozy, I think, would be more the word I'm after here. And then maybe if we have this front area like this. I know this looks kind of bizarre right now. Let's see if I can make this look a little bit better. If we extend this way, this keeps this whole thing bigger than one of the bathrooms, and it provides more room for sort of making, the kitchen and the general living area layout. See, I think we could probably fit a kitchen sort of like an L shape in here that I think would be a good use of the space. And then we could fit a small living room over here, but I don't know. Let's shrink down the hallway a little bit. And let's move this bedroom in here. This gives us more space. But it does make this bedroom smaller. If we extend it maybe down the hall this way. Then extend this room this way. It still doesn't leave us with too much. Maybe we'll move this room this way. And we'll see if we can we'll see if we can just move everything sort of down. Well, that down. That might work a bit better, and then we can keep this room the size that it is. And I'll show you why this is actually pretty good configuration for a bedroom, even though it doesn't look great. Like I said, Sims only need that one middle square to access their bed. So, if you have the bed sort of tucked in this corner and then another bed here, this is a trick I used to use before we had bunk beds, which I won't be using because we do have bunk beds. But I'd sort of had the bed layout like this. And then I'd put a table or something in the middle over here to sort of hide the thing here. And then this is totally functional. Pardon me, I hit my fan next to me. This is completely functional. And you have storage space. But because we have bunk beds, if it wasn't for the way that the ladders were, I could probably fit 3 beds in here. But unfortunately, they still have to access the ladders, so that's a no-go. If they could just hop up, which I'm not suggesting that the Sims add, I should say, by the way. Or if I put the door over here, we could actually fit 3 Sims in this room. I'm not sure, because this would take up a lot of valuable wall space here, making this into a door. Although, it is possible to do this, and then I believe I'll have to double check how the toddler beds need to be configured to actually work. But I might be able to sort this out like this. So we'll see. I just want there to be a fair amount of room for them all. Okay, so I think we have the general layout of the house. Now, decorating the outside is actually the easy bit, because the outside is, we're gonna be, well, I guess easy in a way. Financially, it's gonna be easy because there's this really cool way to access free debug things, if you're unfamiliar with it, that makes, like, decorating the outside of houses, landscaping, I mean, really easy, and not as expensive as it used to be. So let's see here. I think I'm gonna figure out doors and windows sort of as I go. I want it to look good from the, I want it to be functional from the inside, I should say, before I see how it looks on the outside. Because if there's something on the outside we don't like, we can always just put a tree there. Trees are free, so it's not like we're at the risk of losing anything style-wise. Now, I'm going to lay this part out as the kitchen, and I think I'm gonna end up putting the door over here. We'll just use a placement for now. Actually, we'll use one that doesn't have any sunlight, just so that the lighting isn't as uneven. Now you see, currently the floor that I have in the kitchen is completely free, so that's usually why I end up using this option. See, the thing that I don't like, pardon me, is that it makes the actual living space look so narrow. Sorry, I had to check on something. I ended that sentence sort of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I don't like that it looks so narrow, because it doesn't, quite have the vibe that I'm going for here. But I'm not sure what we can do with that as of right now. I could always just remove this as being a bedroom and turn this sort of into a living room area, or I could turn this into the kitchen, then this into a living room area. We'll see. You know what? Let's focus on bedrooms. I'm changing my focus here. Let's move to something else. Let's just do a vague layout of the bedrooms. Nothing fancy as of right now. Just make sure that everything fits. And I should also show you guys the final version of the... what was it called that we were working on again the other day? The RV! Yeah, the sort of like mobile home RV that we were working on the other day, and the stream crashed. So I want to show that to you when I get a chance. Okay, so this works perfectly actually. We can fit a few beds in here. And then we can fit... I'm just not sure how we're gonna sort this out here. I might take a bit of a gamble on it. I mean, we could always slide this or this bed closer into the wall, but I just don't think that'll be enough room. So yeah, let's take a little bit of a gamble on it. Oh, that got stuck there. differently. We'll put this here. We'll put this here, but I'm gonna slide this out a bit further in hopes that this will still be functional. Maybe I'll put something back there so it doesn't look so clunky and awkward. But I think if we lay things out this way, we should be able to get all the beds in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And we'll be able to have a full bathroom. And a half decent. So far so good. I just wish we were able to put in one more bedroom so it looked a bit less cramped. But I don't think we can, or at least I don't think we can sacrifice that space. One thing that I do like to do when I do these challenges, if I run out of space at all and I need any extra room, something that I did on that barn build that I was telling you about, well, barn build, it was the challenge for this tiny home, more or less. A micro home, sorry, with 8 Sims, without using any sort of fake walls. Hard as hell. But I do something like this. I sort of make a sunroom, greenhouse type add-on to the house. I put in some flooring. I throw in a door. And then I can put in a bed. And depending on how tall or long certain things are, I think if I make this slightly longer, I mean this for sure person would be able to fit around here. It looks a lot bigger. It's really nice if you're running out of space. It's great for a living room too, or a seating area. Problem is, it just isn't gonna go with the vibe we're looking for today anyway. That's okay. I've seen people sort of have homes set up like this in the past. So it's not like it's that far off from reality. So now let's just start on trying to make the house a little bit more homely. Or cozy, I should say. Homey. Homey is the right word. So I think if we put the door here... Oh, I want to show you, this is probably one of my favorite sort of wall, what do you call it? Wall patterns, there you go. For backsplashes. I really like this one because it's bright and it's fun. And it's kind of traditional, you know, like it's something that you'd see on the backsplash of the can at, you know, your parents' place or your grandma's place or something like that. Maybe in your own place. It's just nice. And maybe we'll just go with the basic blue right now for the wallpaper. I want to keep the room very light. I want to keep the room definitely feeling like there's a lot more space than there is. I mean, apologies, I'm moving around on my chair a bit too much. Let me just change the way I'm sitting here. Yeah. I'm talking like I know what I'm saying. Really, I just watched a lot of HGTV growing up. So the budget fridge is definitely something you can, like, you don't have, like, a fridge is not something you really have to, spend a lot of money on when you're playing. A decent stove, unless your Sims have a habit of lighting things on fire, then I'd maybe suggest prioritizing something like a fire extinguisher and a cheap stove. And then we'll turn this way. Go. Then we get a little extra counter space. I mean, we're cooking for 8 Sims here. It's probably a good idea. I Actually, I might put some more room between the stove and the fridge. There we go. And now for the living room. I'm not sure whether or not I should prioritize a dining room or living room, but I think we could probably set up a living room outside. Whereas to fit 8 Sims in a living room might be a little trickier. Although that might work. I know it doesn't look the best the way it's laid out right now. But there may be a way for us to adjust this. It's almost tempting to have things set up sort of like this. Well, it doesn't leave much room for TV, really. Or it doesn't make much sense. I'm not sure if your Sims could really use the couch like that. It would just make sense to get a chair at that point. You know what, let's do that. And let's use the new... Well, I don't think it's really new anymore. Tiny living chair. Ooh, and I'll show you a fun hack for pillows. Now this does cost money. It's not a great hack for starter homes, but if you're ever trying to incorporate a color, like let's say we'll find a chair that matches the color of the pillow on the tiny living chair, and if you size the chair down and place it the right way, it's a bit tricky at the start. Depends which chairs you use. But you can actually sort of make it look like it would be a pillow. And it's great if you're trying to sort of incorporate colors that you have in the rest of your build into certain rooms. You can do this with beds and things too. Very similar to the couch hack that I was showing you guys. And if you have objects on, can return the chairs. It's a bit trickier to get them into the right spot. You can sort of do something like this, and then one thing I like to do for fun, if there's kids in the house, is sometimes I'll size down these chairs, and I'll sort of put those there, because that's so cute. I know it doesn't look the best, but it's just kind of adorable and a bit of like a personal touch to the house that you're building. But we'll worry about budget right now. Maybe we'll replace this with a kid's chair. Because there are a lot of kids in the house, it would make sense. And for sake of room, we'll put this sort of in the corner. Then I'm going to change the camera here, and then we're going to put this one at the side here. If you hold Alt while you're moving objects, you can move them around the grid. And that's also another cool sort of, what do you call it, hack, cheat, tip, trick, I don't know. I like to use just to save room when you're doing tiny builds. Now, I sacrificed a lot of room in the bedrooms for the rest of the space, so I want to try to put a bit of an eating area in here. I don't know if it'll work, but I think it's possible near the entry here. Now, I will change the kind of furniture, the color of the furniture, all that, but I just want to get the basics down and more or less of a price estimate. Right now I don't have a sim in here, so I don't have a budget that's already set, but I just want to keep an eye out on this. Right now we're only at 10k, so we're doing pretty good. I've built entire houses under 10k, so we're not that poorly off, bad off, well off. I don't know what to say, what I'm trying to say here. The pros of streaming at 2:30 in the morning, because you can't say words, right? So we're not that... We have a lot of room. This is what I'm gonna say. Jeez. Man, I'll have to remind myself not to stream so late anymore. You see, I don't have much time in the day right now, because right now, like currently, past few days, I recently got my second Pfizer shot for the COVID vaccine. I've been kind of absolutely exhausted, but the side effects haven't been too bad actually, which I'm really happy about, but I have been very tired. But over the past little while, I've kind of been working on writing a book, which is cool. I've always wanted to be an author, and recently I mentioned that to a teacher of mine, and she thought it would be a really good idea to pursue it. And so I thought, hey, why not? You know? It would be fun, and I mean, I'm 18, I could work on a book for 10 years and still be in my 20s. You know, so, like, well, not still be, but, you know, be in my 20s. I'm not there yet. Nope. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's something that is fathomable? I don't know. Anyway, I've been working on it, for a few months now. Before I recently turned 18. I've been working on the book since I was 17. So, yeah, if I work on this book for 10 years, I will be 27. And at that point, I've maybe hit the quarter of my life at that point, so it's not like it would be time wasted at all, and writing is such a useful skill. I sort of I plan everything I do, absolutely everything. So knowing these things are important to me. But I've been really trying to focus on doing things that I like recently. And doing things that make me happy. Because I'm lucky enough to be in the position where I can pursue the things that I want to pursue. And so I figured, why not? It's like, for example, I'm currently still in high school. Due to some medical reasons, I got held back a year. Because I missed so much school. And so I was bummed for a while. I was really bummed. Because I had this whole plan set up of how I wanted to do things, and year by year, this is what I was going to do, this was how I was going to do it. And then things sort of... they didn't quite go that way anyway. But now the nice thing is... let me just fix the filters again here. Is what I do want to do anyway is I want to go abroad for university. And I wouldn't be able to do that anyway with COVID the way it was for the past year. So in the end of things, timing-wise, not horrible. I mean, why didn't you go off to college? Global pandemic. I think that's a fair enough reason. But yeah, I was really hoping to... I am hoping I will, if I'm lucky enough. I say I will because I feel like if I say that, then I'll actually do it. If I convince myself I'm gonna do something, I do it. So, I have 0 willpower, but I'm very stubborn. So if I tell myself I'm gonna do something, you really can't tell me otherwise. Not even myself can tell me to not do something. It's terrible, really. But yeah, so I was looking at going abroad and stuff like that, and I went on a total tangent. I don't even know where this started. There was a reason I was saying all this, probably. But that's alright. I was just putting in some filler furniture anyway, so there wasn't much about the build I could talk about. So with the filler furniture in, 12K, which isn't too bad. All of the furnishing, or all the decoration on the outside, I can do for almost completely free. Let me throw in a trash can, because I always forget about these and then I run out of money. Okay, so now that we got that sorted, I'm gonna do the roof and the windows, and then come back to decorate later, because I just want to make sure that we have enough money. I don't want to spend too much too soon, because I still want the house to look nice. That's my main goal. I always find it crazy the amount of people in real life, not in The Sims, that will sacrifice like, just the house looking nice over something like, I don't know, what would you call it? Functionality? Just, I don't know. Like, aesthetics are so important in a house, so why people would... McMansions are a good example. You know those things where people just spend exorbitant amount of money on a house, and then it just ends up looking bad? Like, if you have all that money, wouldn't you put it into making the house look good rather than cheap? Well, I mean, I've never been a homeowner before, so honestly, I can't tell you. Like, I can't really think of the perspective of someone who would. But let's sort this out here. Sorry, I'm just gonna check my frame rate again here. Not the best, but not terrible. The stream's still going, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a win. Here, let me grab some water real quick. Let me sort. See, this is the problem with these doors, is they're not tall enough. Oh, nifty knitting, that's not what I wanted. Tiny living. I mean, this door is kind of cute, it's just shorter and that's the problem. We could make this mid-century modern, sort of. That would be fun. Okay, let's make it mid-century modern. It might not be on the inside, because I can't remember what on earth a mid-century modern house would look like on the inside. But this house is gonna look like it's from Oasis Springs, or like the 70s? Is that when the mid-century era was? I mean, I'd assume so. 50s to 70s seems like what I've known. Oh no, that's not the right way to roof that. Let me start here. Oh yeah, I was meaning to say, I will be getting back into GeoGuessr soon. When I used to stream, before I took a bit of a break, it was probably like, it was so incredibly fun. Like, we all had a great time. Chat was super active, it was awesome. And it's great too, because I'm a bit of a dumbass. But I also love the game and geography, so people will come in and just be so smart. And I'll just be absolutely amazed by it, and we'll actually get somewhere, because me doing that kind of thing on my own, if it's really anything outside of Canada, I am completely lost. No, maybe I'm gonna scrap the mid-century modern idea, because I realized I cannot do roofing like that. So we're going back to a classic suburban here. If it'll let me. Oh, don't crash. Okay, we're good. If this crashes, I'm not quite sure what I'll do for the rest of the stream, or for, oh no, it crashed part 2 that happened last time. Besides just rambling about nothing. I was gonna mention that, I mean, well, I'm mentioning it now, but I'll explain why I'm not gonna go into any detail about it. That I'm setting up a Patreon currently. But I'm not gonna go too much into that, because I gotta get more into the sort of... I have to start streaming more consistently. And I want to have a bit more of a schedule here before I'm like, hey, can I... And I don't want to just disappear for a while, you know? Because that would be bad. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it better, but the thing that I really liked about setting up that is it gives me a lot more opportunity. I've mentioned this so many times before, so apologies if you've been here before, and I'm just starting to sound like a broken record, but wanting to do more charity opportunities. And like I was saying before, with going out of my way to do things that I like, and pursue things that I like, I also want to start doing a lot more good things. I used to do a lot. That big window would be nice in the front, but I don't know if it matches the vibe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll go with the flow. But yes, I also wanted to start doing more good things. I sort of have fallen off the... I used to go out of my way to volunteer and do charity things. Unfortunately, unfortunately, physical illness and mental illness, and of course the coronavirus got in the way of that. So now that I'm in a much better place, and COVID is starting to let up, I want to make more of an effort to do those good things. And so that's sort of where that's coming from. Oh no, my foot's asleep. Sorry, let me move here. So I want to start doing more of that. So that's why I bring it up. And plus, if you're choosing to stick around, I do just want to keep you guys in the know of sort of where I'm planning to go with things. I want to get a lot more consistent. I want to get a schedule. I'm not going to say that I will, because knowing me, there's a big chance it won't happen, only because I just don't have a schedule at all right now, to be perfectly honest. I have no kind of schedule, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. So with those two things in mind, the whole stream schedule and organization and all of that, I don't have enough organization in my own life. I'm supposed to organize things like that. Oh, I don't know. I really don't. So, I'll get that sorted out soon, I promise. But until then, that's sort of what I'm thinking, where I'm sort of thinking of going with things. And so, I figured I'd just let you guys know. If you have any interest, I will definitely update you in another stream coming up. I might start alternating stream times, because before, I usually have 2 times where I stream, either like 2 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning. Just sort of, or where I am, Central Daylight Time. Just because that seems to be the only time where it's a bit more convenient for me to do it. Other times I could do it, but problem is I still live with my family, and so they're not exactly always super happy with me, chatting away, at the early hours in the morning or late hours at night. Why the 2 o'clock in the morning, though, you might ask? Is because people are usually asleep and they don't even notice. So I can get away with it at this hour. I love that you're able to place more than one window on top of each other now. I've just been doing this so much. It probably looks bad, but I'm so happy with it. It's like pawns. I think I have so many pawn builds right now on my Sims 4 gallery. Now, I'm not sure if I should put this up on a foundation. I might put it up on a bit of a foundation here, but we'll have to see. The thing is there's not really much room for any kind of porch. I could just put in some stairs like this, and that'll work fine enough. But I normally don't like putting stairs without putting some kind of porch. It looks like it's unfinished, personally. We could always do something like that. It's not terrible. Thing is it's a bit too modern-esque for my taste. I usually prefer more traditional houses, but I don't think it's that terrible. I actually kind of like it. I wish we had things that had, or more swatches with the white outline, because I think that's really cute. Maybe we'll find a wood that's a similar color, and we'll make some of the sort of pieces that jut out here the color of that wood, sort of just to tie it in. Whenever I build a house, I usually like to have like a more or 2 neutral sort of colors or patterns or textures, and then one more sort of out there and fun one, like a brick, a paneling, and a wood or something like that. And I think that they look really nice to sort of, it looks like you put more effort than just, shift clicking on the whole thing and making it all one color. Using 2 works fine too, having some sort of accent. Or another fun thing that you could do is sort of change the color of the window frames. That's also fun. My stream's still going. It's still alive. Hooray! Alright. That's not quite similar enough. Let's sort here. Martian soil, why is this in the paneling section? That's interesting. I'd think it would be in the miscellaneous section. This is pretty similar. Not quite yellowy enough though. This might work. It's a lot darker, but it's the same color. So I'll just throw that slab on there for now. Maybe we'll see if there's something in paneling that'll work. No, that one's too... not quite right. This one's a bit more similar in color. But I don't know. I really like the other wood tone. I mean, this works too, but this is so... it's so yellow. I think let's use this one. And I think I'll use it for... maybe we'll use it for this bump out here. I think I can just shift click on this one for the most part, yeah. And then we'll go around here to this bump out over here. And we'll shift click for that. There we go. And then I think we'll make the main part of the building brick. Maybe we'll go with... It's tempting to try out like something like this. Obviously this won't be that way, but it's really dark. Maybe doing something lighter like this white ornate brick might be nice. And we'll just make sure that that's all where it is. This reminds me so much of the area that I used to go to school in. Because there's a lot of, I live in a city with a lot of like, military and Air Force. And so there's a lot of homes that were built, especially during the Cold War, near the Air Force, that look so much like this. Like the old fire station near my school looks a lot like this too. I'm not sure what to do in terms of paneling. It'll sort of stick out a little bit, considering the way we have the rest of this done. Maybe we'll do, like, maybe we'll do a blue. It seems kind of out there, I know. But we'll give it a try and we'll see what we think near the end of it. Also, I do have in the tags that backseating is allowed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to throw them out there. I know some people can get really frustrated with that, but as long as you guys are all civil, I don't think that'll be an issue at all. It's a bit too dark. See, I normally really like a periwinkle blue, but this one is really dark. I think something like this will probably suit it better. And it's a bit more like greenish yellow in tone, and I think it complements the wood in the door a lot nicer. So now what we need is a foundation, and I think I'm just gonna go with this red brick. And then I might go with a red, well, like a reddish in tone roof pattern. Not something quite like this. I imagine this would be in a cooler climate. I'm more referring to something like this, just to tie in the brick at the bottom. And trust me, I know it doesn't look quite right yet. I'm very much aware. It'll take some time. It's really... The devil is in the details, and I don't know if I'm using that saying right. But in terms of this, I mean, like, what makes the house is sort of the details in the landscaping, I find. The difference, something that can make such a huge difference in Sims 4 builds, is not like the thing you build itself, but the way you incorporate it into the environment. I think it's really nice. And I think that means, or I think it makes like a huge impact on it. And so we got this so far. We're still under 15k, so that's good. I want to have about 5k left for decorating the inside, and then obviously we don't need any extra simoleons for the outside because of using live edit objects, which is a godsend in terms of decorating. So I think I might leave the outside as it is, and then come back to it later. I'll try to leave a couple K left, just so that, just in case we decide to make any last minute choices or changes. But as of right now, I want to make this house look a bit more homey. So I have this set up the way it is right now, but I don't know, it doesn't look as nice as I'd like it to. I think it's possible for me to get chairs in here. I'm not sure if this farthest one will be usable, but I think if we move it, I think the door here is still usable. I think these chairs are still usable, and I think the fridge is still usable. It looks like there's a lot more room than it is, and that's a good thing. I'm gonna use dark wood for the table. I might keep lighter wood for the chair, or for the chairs. I think that'll work. And then I'll choose a sort of theme for each of the kids' rooms here. And maybe what I'll do is I'll replace these bunks under the beds with the kids' beds. That way, it's cheaper, and you can have like 2 toddlers, 2 kids, and 2 teens and 2 adults, or, you know, the grandparents maybe share rooms with the kids, or something like that. I mean, who knows? Or maybe there's a group of family who just prefer to have kids' beds. Honestly, okay though, have you been to like IKEA or anything like that in the kids section? And aren't like the beds there the most adorable things you've ever seen? Like, I love them so much. They are so cute, and I would have absolutely loved to have them at, like, beds like those as a kid. Like, there's like forest theme ones and stuff like that. And like, they're so cool. And I had a loft bed as a kid, and I was pretty lucky with that because it was like my favorite thing ever. But sometimes I go back in there and I'm like, I'm an adult. And like, of course there's like part of me that's like, no way would I want like such a gaudy themed sort of bed. But then there's another part of me that's like, I high-key want to feel like a fairy princess. And I mean, I spend most of my time hunched over my laptop like a goblin, so maybe more of a forest goblin than a fairy princess, but I don't know. There's still part of me that's like, yeah, I want to do that. Which is one of the coolest thing about having younger siblings, especially with like big age difference between me and my youngest sister, 13 years, is like, it gives me the excuse to do all of like the fun kids things that I'm way too old to do on my own. Without any kind of confidence. See, that's the issue. If I had confidence, man, I mean, you could take over the world with, you know, an ounce of confidence, but I don't have any of that, so I'm gonna stick with just saying, oh yeah, no, I'm just wearing this because of my younger sibling. So, like, for example, once when I was 12, I'm no longer, my mom and this person are no longer together, but I had a younger stepsister at the time who convinced me and my mom to wear rainbow tutus with her to the mall, and I was 12. And this was like the mall, it was right across from my school too, and I was like mortified. I was like, God, no, nobody see me. I thought I was like this goth, emo badass or whatever when I was 12. And I mean, honestly, I wish I could get, like I said, it's the confidence I miss. I know I make fun of it, but still, like, damn. and I was wearing like ripped jeans and like fishnets and like Doc Martens, and then I had like this rainbow tutu, that's My Chemical Romance band shirt and everything like that. But yeah, it was still pretty awesome. It was a fun time, I won't lie. I had a good time, I thought it was great. That's like kids, I don't know. They're one of the things that remind me that the future, it's not that horrible. Although, like seriously though, like I think I was way smarter as a kid than I was, or that I am now. Like I could do long division as a kid. Definitely can't do long division now. I failed at math in a store with a calculator once. Like basic, like, buying things math. And I had a calculator with me and I was like, yeah, I got this, I can do this, I can do math. And then I just failed miserably in front of so many people. So, it's probably good that they held me back a year, honestly. Because man, I definitely need to figure that shit out. Yeah, no, these curtains aren't working for me. They have to be white. I really want to keep the room light, but I also want to keep it cozy. And finding that balance between light but also cozy is very difficult right now. But I think I'm gonna put those in that way. Ignore the fact that the bed is clipping with the curtains. We'll just pretend that that's not a thing that's going on. I'm gonna move this further back here. There we go. I think that'll work out pretty good. And then I'm gonna move this a bit more here. Oh, and then that's perfect, because then we have room for a toddler potty in here, which is something I always forget in my tiny home builds if we have a bathtub, because you can always just toss them in the bath. It's not as important as if there was no bath, because if there was no bath, then, you know, that's something you gotta worry about in The Sims. Okay, so I want to color coordinate this a bit better. Maybe we'll have a nice green. No green for the appliances, though. If I go show you the finished product of the... I keep wanting to call it a caravan. It's not a caravan. It's an RV. I mean, I think it's called a caravan in some places. I'm not sure. But yeah, it has the colorful appliances because I sort of thought of it as like, it's like, for example, my grandma's home. All of her appliances before she updated it, they were all pink, and her kitchen was all yellow. And as much as that's really fun, and I kind of love it, and it's great on The Sims, I don't think I could stand that in real life. But on The Sims, it's really cool, so I kind of wanted to give the van that, well, van, whatever it is, the mobile home, I guess. I just wanted to get, or trailer, maybe. I just wanted to give it that sort of vibe. Like, it was sort of older, it was well loved, someone lives in there and takes real good care of it, but maybe doesn't necessarily have the money to renovate it too much. See, this bathroom feels really dark, which is my issue right now. I want it to be brighter. I think I'm going to change the floor color to either white or cream. See, the white just feels too white. The off-white color might be okay. I think I do have room to use in the budget for tiles. Let me just choose something a bit more. No, not quite that. Gray? There we go. You really can't go wrong with gray. It's such a great neutral color. Huh? Great. Great, you know? Wordplay. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Let me just throw a rug in here. Is there one with yellow and green? There is not. There's one with just green though, so let's throw that one in there. And then I want to put something behind this so it didn't stick out as much. Let me filter this again. Oh, that rug I put I don't think was in any of the right packs. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah, this rug right here, as much as I love it, this one too, I don't think we're in the packs that I want this to stay as. So we're gonna have to switch that up. But we do have this neat console that I'm gonna put behind the toddler's bed here, just to make this space not look as empty. And doing that too, we have a place to put toys and such, so that they're not as much in the way. I might even put a bookcase up there, like a bookshelf, because I don't think we have one. I'll just put something like this in here. There we go. And I think the toddler can still use the bed, so I think we're okay there. Now back to trying to find a decent carpet. Maybe we'll just use this for the bathroom. This'll do. Not as fun, but still nice. Still works with what we're going for. And then maybe I'll use this rug for this room. And then in the parents' room, usually I like to go with a nicer bed. We might go a little bit over budget for this. But like I said, I'm not too worried because I know that we'll be okay on the outside of the house when doing like landscaping and such. I think I'm gonna go with the more olive tone bed because the walls are already this bluish color. Well, it is blue, I mean like bluish purple, my bad. Now let's see here. I absolutely love these curtains here, but there's not really a good neutral shade of them. I wish that The Sims would implement just like neutral shades of these because they're so useful to put like in places here or for doing like a one close, one open. Something like that. Because like these ones are okay, but you'd never really know if they're going to fit over a bed or not, and then some are too wide and it's really hard to adjust because you can't change the width of the actual thing. Or of the object, I mean. So it'd be really nice to have these in like a more neutral color. For now, let's just use beige. Let me do it this way so it doesn't stick out as much, although I think it's still pretty obvious. I'll back that up a little bit. I don't know how I feel about those though. It doesn't look quite right. I feel like I need to use these, but it's hard to convey the kind of vibe that I want. Maybe I'll put these behind here. I could always try to do like how do I want to do this? Like, I wish there was a way I could get it sort of in between here. And I'd have to remove the window, and that might be a bit tricky. Well, not tricky. Like I said before, I'm lazy. I'm very lazy, so if there's an easy way around something, I'm probably gonna try it that way first. Let me try it this way. And then if I throw the window back on here, this is where I'd want it to be. And then I put sort of this like that. I think I can probably make it look... There we are. See, it's very closed, but I could see that being an actual thing that people would have. It just looks like they're sort of open. It's not as nice as I would like it to be, but I think it'll do for the purposes of what we're trying to do here. And clearly this is a bit more modern of a home. I imagine that this house would be like in a city, and these people, they work, like they make a fairly decent living, but because like they live in either, you know, LA or maybe San Francisco or something like that, they have like a very, like the housing market isn't great, and so they're pretty well off. They're not in any difficult way, but finding a place that's a close commute to where they live and that also has enough room is a bit of a struggle. Because yeah, imagine they have a fair amount of kids, so they wouldn't want to live like in the city. They would have a hard time in like an apartment. I don't know. I'm making entire life stories up for these Sims, but I always do that. It always like keeps me interested in the thing I'm building. Is to have to like create these stories. I'm worried about putting a patterned rug in because there's already so many patterns in this room. I'm not opposed to using, like, I wear clothes that have like multiple patterns. Like I'll wear like a striped shirt with like a patterned skirt, as long as it fits. Like, I don't know, I tend to use like big patterns and then small patterns if I were to pair up patterns, you know? Like, my skirt, it has a bunch of sloths on it. It's really cute. This is really long skirt with a bunch of sloths on it. And then the tank top that I wear with it, the shirt that I wear with it, has like these really like big like stripes on it, but there's only like a few of them because of how thick the actual stripes are. A lot of people think it's a dress because the patterns look like they work well together. And none of them sort of overwhelm the other. So it ends up working out really well. I'm just not exactly sure why. I wish I could tell you. Oh, this lamp is cool. I like this lamp. Maybe I'll put this lamp in the corner here. Light up the hallway a bit. I know we already have a light in there, but you know what I mean. Hallways can feel so dark sometimes. And then maybe we'll see if we can put a bit of a rug along here. Maybe we'll grab one of these and then we'll like shrink it. No, that one looks too fancy. Too fancy schmancy. Schmancy. Fancy schmancy. There you go. That was the word I was looking for. Or like opposite of a word pretty much. And so we'll do something like that. And then I'm tempted to even do the same thing under the dining table, but it just doesn't work. So we'll stick with that there. Maybe we'll put a rug over here. Maybe we'll do like a gray one. We'll shrink it down too. Or maybe, how do I want to do this? I think maybe like this. I don't want the rugs to overlap though. I just sort of want there to feel like some division, not closed off, but cozy. I think is just sort of how I want to approach it. Check my frame. We're doing okay. I think we're still doing okay. And now I'm going to change the chair colors to match the colors that I've used in the bedroom. And then I'm going to change maybe the couch to like this sort of brown color that we've been using. If I can find it. My laptop doesn't quit on me quite yet. There we go. And then in terms of curtains or blinds, I'm just going to go with these. And then we need something on the coffee table. Maybe we'll go with the flower. Maybe we'll make it, I really love like the purpley swatch on here. I just think it's really cute. I think it makes the place look, I think flowers just, it complements houses, especially in The Sims, really nicely. So I like to put them in wherever I can. In terms of a dresser though, that's going to be a bit tricky. I think I can probably fit one in next to the parents' bed. But I'm not sure. We'll have to give it a try. Oh yeah, another thing I was going to mention is I really want to play one of the Life is Strange games. I think Life is Strange 2 has the first episode out for free, and I think that would be a really neat thing to play. Although I do think that would be something I'd play in the afternoon, because that's when more of the my usual crowd, or viewers, well, at least used to be before I took a bit of a break, that's when they used to watch it more, so I'd probably do it a bit more then, just if they're still sticking around. Just, you know, out of like a, out of thanks for not heading out. I mean, I disappeared without any sort of, saying anything, so that was my bad. I gotta be more accountable for myself. In all fairness, I did have a pretty good reason, but I really don't want to get into it today. So, we'll just stick with building a nice little Sims house for now. And, like, actually little. This is a tiny home after all, although the amount, like, this is actually a fairly decent sized house, to be perfectly honest. Like, if it wasn't so full of Sims, like, you could comfortably fit a family of maybe 4 in here. I mean, you can fit a family of 8, you could probably fit a family of even more if you wanted to turn, like, the living room area into a bedroom. If you were here closer to the beginning of the stream, we actually had this separated off into a bedroom. And so it's totally possible. But you really can't without mods anyway. So yeah, I really like the inside. Okay, now let's work on the outside. This is where sort of the fun bit is. Oh man, could you imagine sharing one bathroom with 7 other people? I had a hell of a time sharing a bathroom with the 3 other people who lived in my house. Anyway, sorry, this is where the fun part comes in. Oh, of course I got rid of the filters. I need these. Pardon me, let me get some water. I always forget. Anyway, so here are the cheats that you need to know. So I already put in testing cheats true. Now what you need to do is put in bb.show hidden objects. This is what I was talking about earlier. And then bb.show live edit objects. Now what this does is when you go into search and you go into debug, and you type in debug, these should show up. And what this will do is it'll bring you to this menu where you have access to all the stuff that is used to decorate the world around you. And you can sort this by the packs you're using, which is pretty great. But there are things like trees and flowers and fences and stuff like that. And they're all free too, which is so incredibly great. I might actually keep this tree, I like it. Maybe the same with this flower too. These flowers too. And another thing I really like is Sims will go through them. So if you're trying to put flowers like around a mailbox, for example, and your Sim can't quite get to it because it's technically blocking it, you won't have that problem with something like this by using debug objects. Another thing too is if you want to build sort of like 2 houses next to each other, there are houses in the debug menu. This one doesn't have a foundation, but this is just the first one I saw. And you can put them next to each other and you can have sort of like a row of houses for free, and only one of them, is playable, so you don't have to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of unplayable houses and then feel like you need to fill them up with Sims. And then, you know what, let's put this like this, and then we'll put this here. There we go. I mean, of course your Sims won't stay in this boundary, like I said. Technically, these are not like fences, so that is an issue. But I mean, it looks nice, which is like half the battle when you're trying to build a decent starter home. Let alone when you're trying to build a, decent sized one. So I think I'm going to leave a lot of this area open. And I'm going to... What am I going to do? I have an idea. I have ideas. I'm just not sure how to implement them yet. I like to use big trees when I'm building too because they really fill up the lot a lot more. A lot. and I mean, that's a bit too big. Jeez. Could you imagine living under a tree like that? I'd be scared of my tree every time that a big gust of wind or, you know, lightning strike came by. When I was a kid, a tree in my childhood home, my childhood home's yard fell onto the street, and it was just an absolute disaster. I mean, it was fun, don't get me wrong. Me and my cousins, you could find us climbing through the tree over on the road, but I mean, the people driving past did not have a good time on it. They ended up driving through our yard, and my grandma was pissed. I mean, I can't blame her, the amount of effort that lady goes through to maintain that thing. But mind you, it was up to the city to clear the tree. They said, oh, it's on, you know, our property, we'll get in there and we'll clean it up. But eventually, I mean, of course they didn't. And so eventually the neighbors just came by and cut down the tree and used it for firewood. Fun times, though. Some of the great things about living in Canada is you get crazy weather, but real good neighbors. And then, these flowers are really colorful. I think they might not quite fit with the theme. One thing I like to do especially if I'm uploading houses onto the gallery, is I'll actually look at it from this view here. If you just click on the save to my library button and then just don't save it to your library afterwards, just exit out of it, you can actually see what it would look like to someone on the gallery. And that way you can see, oh, you know, this spot looks a bit bare, or this roof isn't quite at the right angle, something like that. And it's great to sort of just take a look as you're building, if that's what you're building it for. If you're building it for your own gameplay, then it really doesn't matter too much what it looks like from the gallery's view. And then, yeah, I'm putting this a bit in the, no fancier, I know. No, not quite like that. There we are. And then I want to put some more trees here. Maybe we'll put an evergreen. I can rotate here. Yeah, my laptop is not a fan of The Sims as it stands. The Sims and streaming, it's not a big fan of, I'll tell you that much. Now I'll put a little bit of decoration here at the back of the build. Or maybe I won't. It snaps a bit too much. Could always throw a few more trees there if I ever decide. Maybe what I'll do is I'll throw a bit of a bench here. And then I will put some trees out back here. And maybe I'll put a bit of a tree in the front of the yard, we'll see. Oh, that covers it too much. We want a little bit of sunshine. Oh, also, a fun tip. Recently, because cottage living has come out, one thing that's great if you're building a farm, but don't want to use like too much, like you have a really big area, but you don't have enough plants and stuff to fill it up with yet. There are these things here that are like little cabbages and like plants that you can put into your farm, as well as hay bales to sort of fill up the area. I actually have a farm on my gallery that's like that. I'll actually show you real quick. I have a few of them. A few farms up on my gallery. But yeah, like as you see here, I filled up this area with those patches here, and then I put some of those things there, yeah. Sorry, I think I said that a bit weird. My mind's in two places at once right now. Now let me find what I was looking for here. There it is. The concrete pavement tile. Now I use these all the time for paths. I put this in a bit of a weird way. Let me just fix this here. don't think I can move that one much, but I think I can probably move this one over a bit. Move this over and then zoom in here so I can move this over. And then I'll zoom back out. It's okay if they overlap. Oh geez, maybe they overlap a bit too much that way. There we are. That's a bit better. There we go. And then if we put these here, it won't be a problem at all anyway. They'll be able to go through because they're all debug objects. Yeah, we'll put that like that. There we go. Oh, we need a mailbox too. It's a good thing to keep in mind. Let's see here. Maybe we'll use the Willow Creek mailbox. This one here. It looks cute. I was trying to decide between that one and this one, the Oasis Springs mailbox. Because I think they both fit. I might go with the Oasis Springs mailbox because it really does bring those mid-century vibes that we still sort of managed to go with this house. It's like a modern mid-century modern. Alright, next up, I think that's pretty good for the most part here. I want to check how long I've been streaming. Hour and a half, okay. I might end it here. We still have some money left over, but I don't think there's much we can do with that money. I like to leave a little bit so that when Sims and Sims families move in or whatever, when people download this off the gallery, they have a lot more room to do what they want with it. So if they need to expand it or change it or add more or less furniture or different furniture, or if they just have some things that they need to do, if they want to put a rocket ship in the front yard, you don't want to have them move in with 0 simoleons. So I'm going to throw this up on the gallery real quick. You know, actually, maybe I'll do that later. I want to show you guys the trailer that I built first, because on my last stream, it crashed before I was really able to give the final. So let's see if we can do that here. Just check again. Good. We look like we're okay. I upload these all to YouTube afterwards just so that I can have a bit of an archive of all my streams. Because obviously they delete if you don't. I don't have the room to be storing them on my on my laptop. I mean, it's pretty much full with Sims stuff anyway. So I just throw them on YouTube over there. If you do consider sticking around, feel free to also check out Twitter. Is this? Oh yes, okay, cool. I used the right word. Twitter, just because I'll put a few updates on there. If you're wondering, I'm usually not very active on social media at all. I've been trying to step away from it. Recently I've been looking into it a bit more, just in terms of all the sort of creative things I'm pursuing require a pretty decent social media presence. So I've been trying to get back. Now, we didn't quite finish this build the last time I was here, but it was supposed to look like sort of a cozy, well, cozy is the wrong word. What do I mean? Like a well-loved, but maybe either like family-owned, like it was their great uncle's RV, or like they got it from like a used dealership or whatever, and they've just sort of tried to make it their own. Oh no! A lot of the changes we've made didn't save. Why didn't I think that would... Why? Oh no. Well, I'll have to go back and I'll change it. That's okay. This gives me an excuse to shamelessly plug the old YouTube channel over here. Also, please don't feel like you have to follow or subscribe to anything, geez. This is more or less just a joke, more than anything. I'd hate to pressure anyone into anything. Oh yeah, I did face cam on this last thing. Oh, what a disaster. This isn't even the video I want. There we go. It's the one before the crash that I wanted to show you all. There, as you can see, it ends a bit earlier than my usual ones do. Now let's see if I get near the end here, if I can show you what it looked like before the crash. Possible, yeah, as you can see, we had like pink chairs, and we had the blue appliances. We had the yellow bathroom, the old-timey wallpaper. So that's sort of what I was referring to when I was talking about sort of the vibe I mentioned. I'm so sad that didn't save, but I guess that happens when things crash, eh? Really can't be avoided in games. But that's alright. I'll have to come back another time and update it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can show you. I want to stream for a bit longer. But I'm really... See, the thing is I'm quite tired after the COVID vaccine. Obviously I don't want to sound like I'm saying it's a bad thing. I'm so happy because the mask mandate and stuff like that has been lifted where I am. So I'm very happy to be vaccinated. I'm just tired. I'm just a little tired. So I want to keep things simple where I don't have to monitor chat as much. That's why I haven't been doing any of the GeoGuessr streams, because I don't have the energy to monitor chat. Anyway, this was one of the worlds that I wanted to show you. I've been doing some builds in this world. I'm gonna change. I've been having some issues with building after an update. It seems to be resolved now. But I was having some issues when I was building this world, and I was just sort of trying to make... I just sort of wanted to do a reno of the world with a few starter homes. And just a few update stuff. I want to make my own sort of storyline for this Evergreen Harbor that I'm updating. So I'll let you guys know. I might do a stream of that, of just sort of doing a few more builds, of creating the storyline. Sort of what I have so far is I want to sort of... There's not a lot... I want to create conflict, and that could be the aspiring writer. Me, God, I sound so pretentious. This is all a joke, I should say. That, but yes, I want to create some conflict, so I want to have, like, the old mill in the middle of, like, the industrial sort of area be run by, like, I don't know, a tyrant that's at the top of the, one of the careers that's, I don't know, what career would, like, I'm not sure what career would really, what's it called? Would really be focused on, like, I don't know. I mean, we could always just make them like a business tycoon or whatever, a Mr. Burns type. We all know he doesn't care about the environment. But yeah, then have sort of like, I don't know. I have ideas. It's 3:30 in the morning now, so I don't think any of those are gonna sort themselves out too well. One thing that is nice about streaming this late at night is I don't have the energy to care. I get, like, about things like, well, I guess mind would be a better term than care, because I do care very much about streaming. I love it. I mean, like, I focus a lot on, I'm very self-aware, and so I focus a lot on my personality, and I'm like, oh shoot, why did I say that? You know, what did I say? How did that come across? And to a point, that's a good thing, because I like being very aware of what I'm doing and what I'm saying. It's definitely very beneficial, but in some ways it makes me very anxious. I already have enough anxiety as it is. I have anxiety, take medication for it, so I really don't need any more if I can avoid it. So that's why There's an end to this tangent. I'm also very forgetful. So if this is your first stream you're ever seeing of me, hi. I'm anxious, conceited, and I already forgot the word. Forgetful. Isn't that ironic? Christ. You know, that probably means that this should be the end of the stream. Because, goodness gracious. It's awfully late for me. And I probably should have grabbed myself a cup of coffee before I started this, so I wasn't so out of it. Oh yeah, I probably should also say, if this is the first stream you're catching with me, the reason why you can see my background in this corner over here, where my cursor is because I have well, long story short, I left my laptop on my bed. My dog, he's a husky lab mix, the sweetest guy you've ever met. Very sweet dog. He sat on top of my laptop, and now it's broken. He doesn't realize he's not a puppy anymore, so he just has no sort of spatial awareness. He is chaos, and I love him so much. Okay, well, I guess then that'll be it for The Sims. So that's a good thing. Stream didn't crash this time. Usually I like to do just chatting a little bit before I end the stream, so you know what, let me go to be right back. I'm gonna close The Sims. I'm gonna see if I can sort of get my camera turned on to where I want it to be. You know, with all the right settings and stuff. I look like a mess, but that's okay. We all look like a bit of a mess sometimes. The thing is I'm a complete open book. I talk very honestly on stream. I'm not trying to be anyone I'm not. No one streams at, 3 o'clock in the morning if they are trying to hold up any kind of facade, because my goodness, I don't think it's possible.